to invite our speaker, Dr. Edna Chawia, to take over. I believe she's on the call. Dr. Edna? Okay, just give us one moment as she tries to share her screen. But thank you everyone for joining this morning. And thank you for the support that you've given Liaison Group throughout the year.
Kama ameenda off.
Members, kindly bear with her. She's trying to share the screen. She'll be sharing it in a few.
Oh.
Dr. Edna, have you managed to connect? Apologies, everyone. Technical issues. I am really sorry for that.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
You can hear me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, should we proceed? Or, sorry, my apologies for joining a little late. Yes, let us proceed. So, good morning. My sincere apologies for how long that has taken. It's okay. Allow me to just project my screen so that we can proceed with the presentation. We want to talk about something that I believe is of interest to most of us, financial wellness, especially in this season, bearing in mind the Christmas season, that becomes something that we really do have to pay attention to, um, at this particular time. But maybe where I'd like to start is by getting a feel or an understanding on what is our expectation. Like by the time we're done with this conversation, what's your expectation? What do you hope to have learned from our conversation? Anyone? Am I here? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yes, you're
We can
audible.
hear you. We can hear you, Edna.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Kennedy, go ahead. I think I saw your hand up. What's your expectation?
Thank you. Good morning, Edna. My name is
Yes.
Kennedy. I'm
Morning.
relatively new
Yes.
to April. Now, as part of
Mhm.
the financial wellness, I just wanted to inquire I've seen probably in some organizations where an employee can be probably request for some savings. Part of the salary probably goes to a SACCO savings or something. I don't know whether in NIPRA there is such kind of a scheme or an opportunity. That's what I would like to know. This is part of a future saving kit or something where I can request or a certain percent to be going to maybe a SACCO or maybe an insurance or something like that. Thank you.
Okay. 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 Gloria, go ahead. I believe part of that question Kennedy has asked is a question someone from EPRA will respond to.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Edna. My expectations is just to help me navigate on my cycle of being very broke in January after a festive season.
That's a good one. Thank you for that. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. So I'll go with the two expectations. That is, they're a good or decent place to start. Yeah. So as a therapist, and I think with my little work around wellness, this is a topic that I enjoy talking about because I see the impact it has on people and their mental wealth. So then maybe we'd start by defining what then is financial wellness. Now, financial wellness is about being financial, or rather changing your financial behaviors and adopting more effective money habits to help secure financial stability and freedom for you. That's what financial wellness is. Being able to change your money habits, or work around your work habits, being able to understand the emotions that you attach to your finances. You might not even realize that consciously, but that's something that happens. And then being able to work towards financial stability and even financial freedom. Let me ask, what is financial stability? From our understanding, what's financial stability? From our respective understanding, what's financial stability? Anyone?
Okay.
Yes? Anyone with thoughts? What's financial stability?
Sorry. I can try.
Okay, go ahead.
I think for me is being at that place where you feel you have adequate financial resources to cater for your needs in a sustainable way.
Okay, okay. Finding yourself in a place where you have adequate resources to cater for your needs in a financial way. Okay, thank you for that. Anyone else?
I would also say financial stability would maybe refer to a state where an individual is able to manage their finances effectively, and they can also withstand the economic shock.
Okay. Yeah, being able to manage finances effectively and also being able to withstand a financial shock or economic shock. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Go ahead. That's Faith. Faith, go ahead.
Yes, just a trial. Probably when someone's income surpasses the expenses. Yeah.
Okay. When someone's income surpasses their expenses, that would be amazing, yeah. Although it can surpass with 1 shilling, but I get what you mean, yeah. When your income surpasses your expenses, okay, then you relatively assume or state that you're in a place of financial freedom or financial stability. Okay, thank you for that. What about financial freedom?
Edna, Cosmos has, on the chat has said the ability to meet current needs without compromising those of the future.
Nice. The ability to meet current needs without compromising those of the future. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. What about financial freedom? Yes. Gloria, go ahead.
Okay, I want to give it a trial.
Yes, yes, please.
Could it be a situation where you are not sinking in debt to an extent that maybe you are digging a hole to fill another one, as in terms of maybe taking a loan to repair another one? That's just my trial.
Okay. Yeah, you're onto something. Good effort there. Great effort, actually. Anyone else? What then is financial freedom? According to you, financial freedom. This is, let me see. Baraka, go ahead.
Yeah, yes. On my side, financial freedom is all about money work for you. You don't work for money.
Money working for you. You don't work for money. Interesting. You guys are amazing. I didn't hear anyone tell me financial stability or financial freedom has to do with having a lot of money.
I wanted to say that. It's like for me, I think financial freedom is having enough money. It shouldn't really be more, like just enough money to cater for your needs. And in most cases, if you have financial freedom, you don't really have to rely on your income from your work. So you can get these resources from maybe income generation or maybe savings and investment, and you're able to cater for all your needs freely without depending on anybody. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. At least I like your answer. It wasn't about having a lot of money. It was about having enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Anyone else who has something to add? There's someone who should mute. Okay. Anyone else with something to add? Anything on the chat? Sorry, when I'm on the presentation screen, I can't see anything on the chat. So just in case, I'd appreciate anyone reading for me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So you realize that financial wellness aligns with financial stability and financial freedom, isn't it? We cannot talk about financial wellness without looking into stability or freedom. Are we together? You cannot be well if you don't have a sense of freedom, but you cannot be well as well if you don't feel centered or like you feel like you have a firm base holding you, despite whatever situation that you may be dealing with. Are we together? So what that means then is for you to get to a place of financial wellness, there's a place to start. You have to start by understanding what is financial wellness to me, or what is even this financial space generally, leave alone just wellness. What is it about finances? There are different terms that come to mind when we talk about finances, isn't it? When we talk about financials, there are different terms that come to mind. Who can tell me a few? The different terms, like when you hear financial wellness, financial anything, what are the things that you know you must understand for you to be able to achieve these objectives? Anyone?
Could you rephrase your question again?
Okay, I'm asking, when you hear finances, you see the way when you hear mom or mother, some of the thoughts that come to mind is nurturing, maybe loving, depending on your experience. So when you hear about financial wellness, what are some of the words that you know you need to understand for you to be able to get a grip on financial wellness? Or terms that you think you'd need to understand for you to get a grip on it? Baraka?
Yeah, for me, in order to to understand, I needed to understand the budgeting.
Spot on. You're right. You're
I
right.
can also add something. Things that words that will come across my mind are financial education, like what we are doing right now. Another thing that is so crucial is debt management. How do you manage your debt? And also another thing that is also a key is how do you save and how do you invest?
Spot on. You are so right. You are so right. That's one of the things I love about adult education. You never start from nowhere. You're always starting from somewhere. And you guys already have an understanding of some of the things that I will talk about. So you're right. So you cannot talk about financial wellness without talking about financial literacy, for example, isn't it? And what then is becoming literate about finances. That's what financial literacy is, meaning being able to understand and then effectively evaluate, then manage your own finances, make decisions that would add value to you, and work towards reaching your own goals. For that to happen, you have to understand money, understand money, understand money. That is something many of us may not even realize, but we've not gotten there yet. Understand cash flow, the difference between income and expenses, understand what are the basic economic or financial concepts, and be able to manage risk or understand debt and risk management. So you cannot get into a space of financial wellness without being literate about finances. And the only way to achieve literacy around finances is to understand money, understand cash flow, understand financial concepts, understand debt, and understand risk management. Okay? Now, there are different ways. Those are the things we will talk about. We will center our conversation around that. But maybe before I even delve into that, there are different ways that not understanding these things and not taking care of these things, not taking care of money, being in debt, struggling with risk, not understanding money, not understanding cash flow can lead to financial issues, isn't it? What are some of the financial issues that may result from these things? From not understanding money, from getting into debt without understanding, from making or taking certain risks without understanding. What are some of the financial issues that can result from that?
You can run out of a steady cash flow, meaning you will even become more debt.
True. You can run out of steady cash flow, meaning get yourself into more debt. That's true. Anything else? Because when we talk financial issues, debt has a very different meaning. Debt management and debt are two very different things. But yes, anyone else with a thought? What else can happen? What financial issues can result from not understanding cash flow or taking responsibility from it, from not understanding money? Basically, what are the financial issues we are experiencing? Debt is one of them. Any other?
I can try.
Go ahead.
You might be in a position whereby you cannot meet your daily needs, like food, rent, clothing, etc.
That's very true. You may find yourself in a place where you can't meet your daily needs. That's actually very true. Any other?
In the event you're not able to fulfill, to pay the loans, your credit score might go down. At the same time as depression, stress and depression might come in.
That's true. That's actually very true. Depression is likely to result, stress is likely to result, your credit score is likely to go down. So it's like things are tumbling down. It's like many things tumbling down at the same time. Anyone else?
You're also likely to engage in unethical things to meet your needs.
That's true. That's very true. Like?
Maybe corruption.
You can also lose your personal dignity as a person.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You may find yourself engaging in unethical things, like corruption, just to meet your needs, but you may also find yourself losing your personal dignity. Stephen, you'd like to share more or leave it there?
Yes, Dr. Dr. Grace, on my side, if you fail to manage financial, it can result to hatred because between the poor and the rich, because those who don't have money, sometimes they have hatred. They believe those who have money, maybe they steal money because they lack financial education. This results to antagonistic movement between those who have and don't have. So in society, there is separation, and it can lead to many things that what's happened to your country, Kenya.
That's true. That's so true, by the way. It can lead to a lot of hatred or a lot of societal issues. That's true. Anyone else?
Sarah, I can see your hand up. You can also give your answer.
I think Faith.
Yes, it can lead to a lack of budgeting, therefore living up on or living out priority areas, and also impulse buying, whereby you end up buying things that you don't need.
That's true. That's actually very true. Yeah, it can lead to. So basically, if you look at it, it is one thing, but before you realize it, they are leading to so many other financial issues. Now, those financial issues, how do you think they affect mental health? You're in debt, you've lost your dignity, you're getting into unethical things, you are hateful towards the people around you. What do you think? What do you think is likely to be the impact on your mental health? Those financial
it will
issues.
weigh you down mentally. And then sometimes it can even, you can go into depression because you're looking at your debts, you don't have monies, and I mean, people have gone into depression as a result. So you're not really, you're very stressed.
That's actually true. Yeah, that's actually true. Anyone else? Last person who would like
To
add
add
something?
on that,
Yes.
to add on depression, so most people struggling with depression will tend to use substance to help them relieve the symptoms. And also you'll notice most people struggling with finances would go to alcohol in a way to avoid dealing with the issue. So most people will come out with addiction from it.
That's actually true. That's actually very, very true. Anyone else? Yeah. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I truly, truly appreciate your participation and your addition to that. That is why we cannot talk about financial wellness without evoking mental health. Why? Because the reason financial wellness is so adverse is because they are significantly linked to our mental health. First thing that happens, one of the core reasons why people will scroll their phones in the middle of the night and toss and turn in bed and pace back and forth from one room to the next, having difficulty sleeping, is because of finances. And I'm sure most of us can relate to that. That time when either there was a deadline or you felt hard pressed, specifically in regard to finances at one point or another, it must have been difficult to sleep. So sleep deprivation is one of the impacts. It's a mental health impact to financial issues. Are we together? Sometimes you find yourself overeating. That's also not strange. You'll find yourself overeating. You may find yourself using different substances, whether it is, and you've rightly said that, alcohol, weed, or even the cheap substances. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to numb yourself, particularly because of how you feel. Okay? You may find yourself being very accident prone. You may find yourself getting accidents frequently. Why? Because you keep zoning out. You're unable to concentrate on the road or focus on the road and do what you need to do. That becomes a problem. You find yourself smoking more than usual. You may find yourself having had other health problems or even experiencing anxiety or depression, like we've rightly said. Definitely having relationship issues. Someone said that when poverty walks through the door, relationships walk out of the door, or partners or love walks out of the door, isn't it? So you may find yourself having relationship issues with people. Specifically, I think some of these things also result from how we handle those particular situations. You may find yourself having your productivity deteriorating. You are a very high performer. All of a sudden, you're unable to stay or stick with the high performance. You may find yourself struggling or even can lead to death. death by suicide because you've just had enough. I mean, not so long ago, we heard of someone in Western Kenya dying because of, I think it was either 150 or 50 shillings. Isn't it that they had put into something, hoped to get more, it didn't come, and they ended up committing suicide because of it, isn't it? So imagine money issues can lead to death. The worst thing about money issues is money issues require a tangible solution. And in most cases, no matter how much you toss and turn at night, the solution does not just come with a switch in how you think. The solution comes with so much more. Are we together? You need the money to fix the problem. So there's a tangible aspect to that, isn't it? So when you get into bad places financially, then it becomes very difficult for you to maintain or sustain your health and wellness. Let me just ask us randomly, very quick question, quick fire questions. How does it feel when you spend? How does it feel when you spend? How do you feel when you spend? How does it feel when you spend? Anyone? Just two people for each
Feels
of these
nice.
questions. Feels nice. Is it ecstatic? Is it happy joy? Is it?
It's relaxing because you're able to, when you're spending for the things that you need. And so you're kind of really relaxed and at peace because you're able to, you're buying for that, for your needs. And of course, sometimes also treating yourself. So it's very peaceful and relaxing from my end.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your honesty as well. We appreciate that, Alice. Feels relaxed, feels nice, especially because you're buying things that you love. Anyone else? One more. How does it feel when you spend?
It's fulfilling, like you're spending your money, you work for it.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not hearing anyone saying they feel pain when they spend. I don't know if there are those of us who feel pain when we spend money. It would be interesting to know.
Doctor,
Yes.
How I feel when I spend money, it depends. It depends. When I'm well financial, I feel good. Because sometimes when you have money, you have to congratulate yourself to, you feel good. But when you are broke, you don't have money, you feel the sense of pain. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Very good perspective. Yes. Go ahead.
In the chat box also, there are some people who have answered, but almost the same. Most of them are saying it feels good to spend, therapeutic and relaxing, feels good. And also so.
Interesting. Yeah. So yes, well, and I like the, there's another one, Damaris.
No. That's all. One is saying also that it is retail therapy, good for the body and mind.
Okay, thank you for that. Gloria, you can go ahead.
If, for example, I'm spending money on things that I feel are going to that will make me happy. Like, for example, if I'm doing shopping, I feel, but there are suggestions. For example, spend money on paying insurance. Normally, some pain, and I've never understood why.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. That when it's going into insurance, it's a little painful. But when it's going to family shopping, it's a little more exciting. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? I think yes, go ahead.
There is a time I paid rent in cash. In cash. It was so painful, counting all that money.
I can imagine, yeah. Okay, thank you. And yet when you do it through the account, you don't feel as bad, or when you do it through M-Pesa, might not feel the same way, yeah? But thank you for sharing that. Gladys, I think was it Gladys, or Gladys has lowered her hands. I have.
My comment is on the audio.
Yes.
There's a lot of echo.
On my side?
Maybe yes, on your side. Maybe you can check if there's an unmuted mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
On my end. Wondering.
I don't know whether there's any other person who is feeling the echo because
Yeah, maybe everyone can feel the echo. Hopefully that will improve our experience.
Yes, there's a lot of echo interfering with clarity.
Okay, I'm wondering if it's on my end. Is it on my end? Or is it when people mute? Oh, it's on my end. Okay, I may need to log out and log back in.
The echo?
Can I log out and log back in?
I think it's somebody else who was unmuted. The speaker is audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From where we are seated, if it's clear, maybe the
Okay.
people having problems could try and maybe log out and come back. It may help.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah. Okay. I think there's someone else who wanted. Gloria, do you have something else to add to us?
I already did what I wanted to say.
Okay. Okay. Then Stephen, I think you wanted to say something as well about how you feel when you spend.
Yes, there are two scenarios. When I have planned for the expenditure, I'm happy spending the money. Very happy. But when things just crop up, necessary things that I have to fund, I really feel pain because they disrupt my financial plans.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that perspective as well, that it depends on when and where and what it is that you're spending on. That's actually very relevant. Yes, Faith?
Mine is a question. Where do you categorize these kind of people that really feel so hard paying for necessary expenses? For example, rent. You find you have your money and instead of paying for that rent, unashikilia pesa just to stay with it because you feel pain to dispatch that money. And then at the end of the day, maybe already you are late in paying the rent and already start having issues with your landlord and probably other things start coming up and you end up even spending that money and you are not even in more shit. I don't know. There's people like that. Why would you categorize those kind of people?
Yeah, yeah. There is actually, and it is attached to so many other things. That's why, in fact, this is a very rich conversation around money and it's linked to your emotions. There are times when we find ourselves getting into trouble with money. Why? Because we feel once I have it, I just want to hold on to it for varied reasons. Remember, your attitudes and impressions around money were formed somewhere, isn't it? How you feel when you spend money came from somewhere. It did not just happen. It came from somewhere. It is based on either experiences you have had in the past, what you observed, based on experiences you had, what you observed, how you observed your parents and the experiences that they had. All those things are things that form or influence your perception of money, and your perception of money significantly influences how you feel about money. So there are those of us, once you get it, you just don't want to release it. Because when you release it, you feel like you're losing. In fact, mentally, it's important to assess what are my belief systems around money? What do I think about money? Do I even understand money as a tool? Because if you understand that if you think that the little 10,000, 20,000, 30, 100,000 that you're holding in your hands is your door to freedom, it means the meaning you have attached to that money is this money is my freedom. So releasing any part of it or giving any part of it to somebody else would be giving up on my sense of freedom. So I agree with you, Gloria, and you've brought on a very good point, which I think all of us need to assess and see. What is your perception of money on your own? What is your perception of money? Do you understand money? Do you understand the purpose around money? That's important for us. And I'll not have us answer all the other questions because I feel if we did, it would literally take the entire conversation. But then now we have to pay attention to personal finances, isn't it? Because we think different things about money. What are your thoughts about money? What's your understanding of money? When you hear money, what do you think? Remember, I said, when you hear mother, if I ask you, when you hear mother, you walk into a room and someone just says mother, what's the first thought that's likely to cross your mind? Mother. Like when I said it, what's the first thought? Don't overthink it. Keep it simple. What's the first thought that crossed your mind when I said
Love.
mother?
Love.
Love. Thank you. Did you say your mom?
Yes, when you talked about mother, I thought about my mom.
Thank you. Yes, that's just the first thought. The first thought without overthinking it. In all cases, for all of us, when a word is stated, it provokes something in us, depending on what meaning we attach to that particular word. Are we together? For all of us. Now, there's someone I'll tell mother and they'll think hatred, just for your information. There's someone I'll tell mother and they'll think neglect. Then someone I'll tell mother. Now, the same word evokes different things for different people. It's the same thing when it comes to money. Money is, people attach different meanings to money depending on who they are. So it's important for you to understand your own meaning of money. Money, what is money to you? What is income to you? Do you understand it? If you understand what money is, because money is a tool, but first start by understanding what is money to me? What is money to me? It is tangible value for something you have put in from where Edna sits. But what is it to you? For some of us, money might be freedom. For some of us, money might be the end game. So you just need more and more and more and more and more of it, and you never want to lack. But you've never really defined what would lacking money look like. You tell me, I never want to be poor. But what is poverty to you? You've never really defined that. Or you tell me, I want to be rich. But what is being rich to you? I don't want for money. But what does that look like? Can you attach an amount to it? Then you realize, okay, maybe I can't attach an amount to it. Most likely I can attach a feeling to it or a state to it, but not an amount to it. Are we together? And that varies from one person to the next. So it's important for us to realize the value of money. One of the analogies used to describe money is time. And the thing about time is, from morning to now, it's 11, and I know we started late. How many more minutes do I have? Maybe the organizers can tell me just so that I see how much to engage. I sincerely apologize for us starting late, but I'd like to know. Yes.
You have 15 more minutes?
We have 15, okay. I'll try and cover what I have within that time. So money, if you understand time, it's now 11 a.m. If you were to do something between the time you got into the office at 8:30 and 11, and you have not touched it, there's no way to recover that time. It's gone. The best you can do is restructure the rest of your day to do what you need to do. It's the same thing with money. That's literally how money works. So you have it, the moment you spend it, it's gone. You cannot claim back what you have lost, but you can only work towards either making better use of what you have and adding value or attaching more value to what you have and making the best use of what you have. So time, like money, is a resource. Time, like money, is a resource. And money, like time, is a resource. Your income comes to you in the form of money. But your income, in most cases, is in regard to not just money. It's in regard to everything else. You might not realize it. What you give, any return on anything is an income for you. What is coming in is an income. Are we together? So what comes back to you is your income. So it's important for you to understand that. Your income is based on how many hours you must work. And definitely that is valued or given back to you in the form of money that you can use for different things, whether it is paying your mortgage, your car insurance, your electricity bills, or any extras you may have. Okay, so when you understand money as a resource or time, money as a resource or income, as what you get in as with the value of money to be able to do what you need to do, but income goes beyond money, then you know, how can I best use my money to meet my desired objectives? Now, there is no way for you to use money without learning how to manage it. For you to learn how to manage it, then you have to look at budgeting for it, and you have to see what to prioritize at any given time. What is my priority? What should I give my first to? Then what am I giving second to? Then what am I giving third to? That is something you have to be so clear about for you to be able to master money. Because if you don't do that, remember I said money is a resource? If you don't use it, you lose it. That's just how it works. If you don't find a good use for it, you lose it. And guess what? actually, when you use it in the way that you desire, it tends to reproduce and add more value to you. So there's no way to use money without budgeting and prioritizing. You can't get everything. I always tell people you can achieve any dream or desire you have. What stands between you and your dream or your desire is time. What that means is for you to maximize on time, then you have to learn to prioritize. Then you have to tick the box and see, now I'm done with this. Let me go to the next. Let me go to the next. So by the end of a period, which is time, when we look at it, we'll be saying, oh my God, you're so ahead. You've done A, B, C, D, and E. But do you know what you used? You used time and then you used money. Two serious resources. You prioritized and you were patient with yourself. You budgeted over time and you were able to achieve your desired objective. That is how you manage money. I know sometimes because of the hard economic times, we find ourselves really struggling to manage money or even budget because we say, if I know everything I'm spending money on, I want to enjoy my money. No, you will actually plan to enjoy your money if you know what you are spending money on. That's a part that many people don't get. Now, something else that we have to also understand around money is when to spend and when to take debt. Spending and debt go hand in hand. Are we together? Because sometimes we find ourselves getting ourselves into a space where we are getting into debt to spend, isn't it? I know people who get loans just to be able to pay rent every month, and rent is a recurring expense. You get into debt to pay your electricity bill or your Wi-Fi. You get into debt to buy your food every month, possibly because of maybe decisions you made earlier on. So it's important for you to balance your spending and your debt as well. And if you can, we always say, do the best you can to offset your debt before you can enjoy your spend. I hope that makes sense. If you have someone's debt, offset it first and try not to borrow again. So that the next month, you can enjoy and spend that money. Mastering money helps you with learning self-regulation more than anything else. Because if you can master money, then you know how to regulate yourself. You know when to tell yourself no. Because half the things we seek out are not things we need. Are we together? It's important for us to take the time to understand, balance off between your spending and your debt. See, and as much as possible, I always say, run away from debt. Running away from debt does not mean don't take it. When you take it, use it wisely. And once you use it, guess what? Pay it immediately or as soon as you possibly can. Many times I know people let themselves get into bad debt. You get yourself into a space where someone needs to call you every day to remind you about money you owe them. Be proactive. Be proactive in managing the people around you. That helps you significantly with managing your stress levels as well. And something else you also have to balance is savings and investing. Okay, what you save is just what you don't spend. So savings might not necessarily have a return on them directly. However, an investment always has a return. You also have to understand what is your reason for saving. You know, are you saving for retirement? Are you saving for financial freedom? Are you saving for what? Are you saving for vacation? What are you saving for? Pleasure, for leisure? What is your reason for saving? You need an objective for your savings because that is what will keep your wheels turning. Even in that month when you don't feel like putting money aside, you will be able to still put money aside. And then something else about savings should be a recurring expense for all of us, meaning treat your savings like rent. Choose an amount and month in, month out, put it aside. That is the discipline you need when you think about savings for you to be able to succeed and thrive in that aspect. Are we together? So you list, you see what it is. First and foremost, have a goal. And then number 2, treat your savings as a recurring expense. Come rain or sunshine. You'll not tell your landlord or you'll not stay in your house without power because this month you've been paid late. You will find a way. It is the same thing. Find a way. Treat your savings as a recurring expense. That month in, month out, you put aside. And don't put it in to remove it. No, put it in and leave it there. And take the time to invest. Find out what options of investment you have around you, things you can invest in, okay? And understand the return. Please don't invest blindly. In this world we are living in, people have become very creative. So if you're a blind investor, people take advantage of you. We are not living in the day and age when we don't have knowledge. Now we have access to knowledge and information. Get the right information you need for whatever investment you take up. Whether it is investment in buying a house, buying a property, an asset investment, or whether it is an investment in something, bonds, or whatever it is that you choose to invest in. But just be conscious, be aware of it, be clear about the returns. We together, I hope that makes sense to us. And something else, for you to be able to work towards wellness, something else you have to do is truly risk management. You have to manage your risk. Let me tell you, I think one of the hardest, I know paying for insurance is hard, but when you have medical insurance and someone is sick, it's a joy to go to hospital. It's not a pain, it's a joy. Now, when you don't have insurance because you are trying to keep all the money you have, and not spend it that particular month, and then someone becomes sick, it's a pain. Remember, we say the risk management. It means a risk does not always have to happen, but it's important to safeguard yourself in case a risk happens, because risks are unpredictable. We can never see them coming. Take time to understand the market, even when you're managing risk. Like, there are many options that have come in terms of unit trusts, in terms of money markets, and there are so many funds that have come into play that we can use to help us manage ourselves and manage risk as well. Take the time to understand the market and then invest rightly with knowledge, with wisdom. There's also risk. Another insurance is for loss and grief, I think. Yes. It's called last. I don't know if it's called last right or something. Yeah, it's different things for different people. Yeah. So be able to take the time to understand the market, what is available, get information, be hungry for information, protect your identity. That's part of risk management. Protect your identity. We live in a time when, those calls we get from people in committee, those calls, hi, so-and-so, I'm calling you from this particular place. I just wanted to do this and the other with you. You get? And then we share our information. Please note, there's medical insurance. There are different kinds of identity theft. Someone can take information about your bank or information about your account and be able to get money from your account. That's one way. But someone can also use your credentials, even to file tax returns, among other things.
Kwenye session nasikiliza.
Okay.
Nasema nitakuwa kwenye.
Okay, sorry about that. Thanks. Yes, I hope that makes sense to us. Protect your identities. It is our respective responsibility to protect our respective identities. Then, as much as possible, monitor your lifestyle. That's your job. Monitor your lifestyle. That is also something you have to do for you to safeguard your wellness. There's got something we call lifestyle inflation, where we tend to increase our expenses as our income increases. It's important to monitor that for yourself. Choose a ceiling for yourself, work towards your ceiling, and then try and maintain, But many times, if you keep, for every 10,000 you're added, you have an 11,000 extra cost, you will run yourself into debt. So it's important to note that. So understand yourself, take the time, go for therapy, talk to a therapist, increase your self-awareness. Be able to understand yourself and master yourself a lot better so that you can regulate yourself, because that's your job, isn't it? Then work towards financial stability to the best of your ability and financial freedom. Now, financial stability and freedom are not things that are experienced in the future. No, they're things you can experience in your life today. So they are just a goal you continuously work towards, but they're not only a goal for the future. They are a goal that you can experience now. So how then do you achieve financial stability? One, you treat your savings as an expenditure. I think I already said that, or a recurring expense. Have short-term and long-term emergency funds, okay? Try and use a monthly budget to the best of your ability. Trim the excesses and treat yourself, because you deserve a reward. You work really hard. So treat yourself, but also don't treat yourself with debt. Sometimes we borrow money to go on holiday. No, trim your excesses and treat yourself. Pay more for the money you owe every chance you get, and supplement your income, then adjust over time and visualize what your financial future would look like. Decide what you want that to look like in your own mind, then work towards it deliberately. Okay? How then do we achieve financial freedom as well? Set goals for yourself. Plan for your money, it's your money. Manage your money, it's your job. Reduce your expenses, because you can. Even if you think you can't, you can. You can. Invest, invest, invest. Every opportunity you get, invest. Eliminate debt as time goes by. Debt is good. But debt is good when you learn and understand how to use it. Then increase your cash flow, increase opportunities for passive income, simplify your life as much as you can, and save money. Those are the ways to work towards financial freedom. Please remember, as much as possible, financial literacy goes beyond knowing what you have and your options. It's also about planning for your life's milestones. So if something is going to change, plan for it. Okay? Learn how to build a budget. It's possible to do that. Learn how to manage debt. Learn how to save and take the time to save enough. Invest properly and use your insurance. If you do that proactively, then eventually you realize your dream. But please treat your dream as a long-term destination. Wherever it is you want to go, you need a dream. Are we together? So you have to incorporate those skills into your day-to-day living in order for you to get to that particular place. Thank you so much for listening to me. I don't know if there are any questions for me. Any questions for me or clarification you'd want for me?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Doctor.
Yes.
I want the clarification on simplify your life, how you can achieve. Yeah, I want more clarification on
how to simplify
how I
your
can
life.
simplify my life as Baraka to achieve my financial.
Okay. I always say the future is for the intentional. I think it's important to track your money as much as possible. Yeah. There are things we get ourselves into that we don't need to get ourselves into. And I'll use what Baraka has asked, and I'll use an example that was shared earlier. You know that you need to pay rent by the 5th, failure to which you will be deducted an extra, let's say 5%, or you will be charged an extra 5% on that rent, isn't it? Ideally, to save your money, pay your rent on time, because when you don't pay your rent on time, you pay your landlord extra. That is a way of complicating your life. Simplifying your life comes with self-understanding. Get to know, by the way, what are my beliefs around finances? What are my thoughts around finances? What is my perception about money? Is it working for me? Is it working against me? That is something you might need a professional to help you work towards. And I think that's now where Antara also comes into play, because Antara has a group, has therapists on standby, just to be able to help you get a better understanding of yourself and then navigate your financial space appropriately. In fact, I tell people, you don't need to wait for a total mental breakdown to see a therapist. Go see the therapist and just tell them, I want to understand myself better and understand myself in all facets, socially, emotionally, physically, financially, in all ways that's possible. Get a grip on that, because that will help you simplify your life. There are sometimes we get into relationships we don't need to get into that end up complicating our lives even more, isn't it? I empathize with the men who perceive themselves as having made it, who find themselves in multiple relationships because they make it and then they spread their seed, isn't it? So it's all over the place. Or sometimes even ladies are also doing that now, isn't it? So it's important for you to consciously make a choice, choose the relationships you get into, see if they add value to you. If a relationship is only taking from you, ask yourself, what are you getting from it? Is there a reason for you to have that particular relationship, or should you be walking away from it? That's something for you to think about, yeah? Baraka, have I answered? I've used 2 examples. I hope they're clear.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Adna, I think we could have one last question from Elizabeth Wahu.
Okay.
In view of time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Leah, for that presentation. I was hoping to hear also more about what are some of the options that we are having. For example, you said we should invest wisely. I was hoping to hear if we have SACCOs, the way you're talking about, what are some of the options. You talked about unit trust. You talked about money market, just going into details and to what are some of these investment opportunities that we have, and what are some of the maybe benefits, what are some of the do's and don'ts, just into details into some of those things.
Okay, thank you for that, Elizabeth. yes, indeed, that's something we can do. But then I also I'm conscious of the fact that when it comes to investment options, that's very customized, isn't it? Different things work for different people. So for the financial wellness, the best I can do is tell you the options are there, isn't it? But then in terms of being able to identify what it is that would work for you, it's important for you to identify a financial advisor or a financial institution that offers that kind of service. Take the time. I tell people, plug in with a professional. I think we are long past the day and age when we used to, I know when we have headaches, we go to the pharmacy and get Panadol to take to deal with the headache, instead of actually going to see the doctor who might actually be able to identify the root cause. So when it comes to finances, I said, finances require tangible solution. Take the time, visit the circles, because yes, indeed, circles are an amazing place to invest, but get to understand your return on investment. If you're taking the time, get to understand your return on investment. But before we even get into investing, understand where you are. Are you at the place where your money is simply serving for you your basic needs, food, shelter, clothing? Is that all your money is doing for you currently? Because if that is what it is, understanding where you are also helps you with seeing what to prioritize. You get? So all of us can't go into circles directly. Are we together? All of us can't go into the money markets directly. Directly, no. Depending on where we are, depending on the responsibilities that we have. So start first by building a budget or writing down your budget. Budget for all your money. Track your costs to the best of your ability. Track your costs for a month or even 2 months or even 3 months. Track your costs. Like even if you buy a lollipop, track it. Even if you buy what? You pay fare extra, an extra 50 bob for fare, write it down. Track your costs on any given day. Then you'll begin to notice, where do I have an income leakage of sorts? Might I be having an income leakage? If I do, for example, I buy chocolates every day, an extra 150. Do I need this chocolate I've been buying every day for the last 3 months? Because if I count, I've bought chocolate 150 every single day for 30 days. That's how much? That's 4-5. That should be 4-5, yeah? Is it?
Yes.
Anyone? Yes, thank you. It's 4-5. So for 3 months, 4-5 by 3 would actually be 13-5, isn't it? So you'll tell people, I am so broke, I don't even have any extra money to spend. However, you use a 150 that you don't need to use every waking day of your life. Once you have tracked your costs, start there, then budget your money. Say, this is what will go here, this is what will go here, then assess what's the difference. What do I have left out of all this money that I have? When I cut out my excesses, all right, I cut out what I don't need. Okay, there's no reason why I need to eat a chocolate every day, but I can eat a chocolate once a week or even once a month, depending on who I am, isn't it? Once you have that, then you can determine how much money do I have left. Now, because I only have 5,000 left per month, where can I put it? Maybe a SACCO is a good place to start. Why? Because a SACCO might not need me to have a lot of money to start with. The only way for you to identify what works for you is to look at your own journey with money. So once you see, there are different options that work for different people. So when you have a particular amount, then a certain amount will work for you. So you can invest at whatever level you are in, but you need to understand how much do you have. Okay, I'm also careful not to push us. Don't work only towards invest. If you don't have enough for a unit, for let's say a SACCO, then might you have enough for savings? Because if you do have an extra amount, but it's not enough for you to use to pay towards a SACCO, then why don't you use that money towards your savings and use it as a recurring and give yourself a year, give yourself a period of a year, and then see by the end of the year, where do I want to go with this money? Maybe by the end of the year, now I want to join a SACCO. Are we together? So you structure your money that way and you break it down. Different things work for different people. Get a financial advisor to work with. Engage your bank where you need to, or your insurer. I'm sure they will give you options that would work and be ideal for you. Wahoo, I know I've generalized that, but I hope it gives you a little insight. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edna. I'd like to request that we mute our microphones. I can I can see we have a few questions in the chat box. However, in the interest of time, I will ask that Edna would respond to the questions in the chat box, and then we will share them out as we send out the recording of this session and the presentation as well. I see Grace Gatheru has raised her hand. This would be the last question as we prepare to get to an awarding session. We have, by courtesy of Antara, a couple of vouchers to gift out today. So I will have Grace ask the last question, and then Edna, you just probably take a minute to answer that, and then we can head on to giving out the vouchers and then conclude the session. But thank you everyone for still staying with us on. Yeah. So Grace, you can unmute and go ahead. Grace, I'm not sure if you are aware your hand is up. Yeah, or maybe she's not aware of that. Okay, so all right. So in the interest of time, I'd like to thank everyone for just participating in today's session. However much it started late, thank you for your patience. I have noted every question here. And Eric Towet, we will definitely have another session on financial wellness. It is very broad, and we'll definitely get into sharing on issues like the money market and much more pertaining financial wellness. So this is just the beginning. So stay tuned for more sessions in 2025. So allow me at this point in time to just say thank you very much for your participation in today's webinar, which was on financial wellness. Quite a number of you have participated, and so courtesy of our partners, Antara Health, you get to enjoy the following members. We have at least around 20 vouchers for wellness membership for the next 6 months, where the members I will get to mention, it's basically the members who've been participating in today's session. And so you get to have 6 months free membership at Antara, where you get to enjoy a personal care coordinator, doctors, free unlimited doctors consultations, nutritionist consultation, pediatrician consultation, mental health counselors such as Adna, and you'll also have sample collection and medication delivery where need be. And then you'll also have a personalized health management plan, a personalized nutrition plan, and any reminders for checkups where need be, any medication refill and delivery. This will all be done for you in the next 6 months, free of charge. So I am posting my contacts on the chat box for the following members to just reach out to me to get your vouchers. And so we have Kennedy Gedenji, Gloria Siakialu. We have Irene Kiveka, who has also been participating a lot in the previous sessions. We have Alice Olao, Joyce Ogoye. Please reach out to me, all of you. Rose Mainge, Cosmas Mweke, Faye, Sheikh, Winnie Duta, Grace Mbizi, Andiva, Moses Onjolo, Winnie Nduta, Baraka Wambura, all the way from Tanzania, look for me, Caroline Kemboy, Gloria Kalundu, Ada Mildred, Stephen Chua, Rachel Mwangi. Please reach out to me. We were given only 20 vouchers, and so Stella, we definitely look to have this in future for more people, but at least we were able to get at least 20 vouchers. And so please reach out to me. My contacts are on the chat. And yes, please let's keep in touch in 2025. Thank you for a wonderful 2024. I wish you happy holidays, and allow us to close with a word of prayer, because at the beginning we didn't begin with a word of prayer. So I would like to request Mary Mosha, if you can hear me, to just unmute and then close with a word of prayer, and then we could end the session. Yeah, so for those who I have mentioned your names, my contacts are on the chat box. Please feel free to contact me to redeem your vouchers. Yeah. All right, Mary Mosha, can you hear me? Oh, Baraka.
Yes,
Baraka.
on behalf of Mary Mosha, let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for the good session, and you instruct us to live according to your law. God, thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Baraka. Thank you to everyone for making time. See you, God willing, in 2025. Thank you. Have a blessed day ahead. Bye-bye. You're free to leave.
Bye. Thank you.